It's official. Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis. The controversy with the knee that Tank Davis took in the 9th round. It's been resolved and not in Lamont Roach's favor, as it has been decided the fight is going to remain a draw after Lamont Roach appealed, asking the NYSAC, hey, look at this with the knee or a potential disqualification. I would like a win in this fight. The commission came back and said, nope. While the potential call wasn't right, we're going to keep the decision of a draw. A lot of people are angry about this. A lot of people originally thought Lamont was robbed, and now they're thinking the same thing, that Lamont Roach should have gotten the win against Gervonta Davis. But was this the right decision from the commission? First, make sure you like this video, comment below if you think Lamont Roach won the fight, and make sure you subscribe to the Never Drop podcast. But of course, the knee seen and talked about, heard all across the world. Gervonta Tank Davis took in the 9th round. Again, a knee that I don't think he was hurt by any shot, but he took go wipe grease out of his eye. As he talked about, he had just got his hair braided a couple days before and it was burning his eye, didn't want to get hit with it. So he took a knee, immediately goes over to his corner. They wipe it down. Originally, referee Steve Willis goes to begin the count, a knockdown, as it should have been. There's no debate on this side. It should have been a knockdown. Tank goes, what? Steve Willis, I believe in the heat of the moment, did not want to be a main story, a main factor in the fight, but by doing so, in turn became a huge factor in this fight, decided not to go with the knockdown ruling and continue the round. With this immediate controversy, as you take a knee, really in almost any regard, it's a knockdown. And then the fact Tank got up, turned his back, and ran over to his corner for assistance could have been a disqualification. Heck, we just saw Canelo get asked about it, and Canelo said, yep, that should have been a DQ and a knockdown. So for Lamont Roach, he immediately, him and his team said, hey, we're going to send this off for an appeal because I should be made winner of this fight. The fact that this wasn't called has cost me a win against Gervonta Tank Davis. A draw, okay, a draw's a draw, but I should have been the winner in this fight. Because if you look at it, if the knockdown's called, he wins on the scorecard. If the disqualification is called, Lamont Roach is also the winner. So he was looking to get the win. The commission said, no, we're not going to overturn it. And I do believe this is a good call. This is a unfortunate good call to make up for a bad call in the ring. I'll explain it. Obviously, the missed knockdown, horrific, inexcusable by Steve Willis, who is usually a very, very good referee. In that instance, he missed. He completely whiffed on the call, and it cost Lamont Roach a victory. So while some might say, hey, it's easy, just call it a knockdown and then he wins. The hard part about this is if now you just call it a knockdown, to a degree, it's unfair to Tank Davis in this regard. If Tank Davis in the moment was called for a knockdown, the next 4 rounds, I guarantee you, Tank is fighting completely different than how he did when it wasn't called a knockdown. So the fact, it isn't just easy to go back and call it a knockdown, because the fight would have played out a very different way, I believe, if it was called a knockdown. And while it's unfair to Roach that in the moment it wasn't called a knockdown, it'd be unfair to Tank Davis now, after it's passed, to call it a knockdown and not let him get a chance to redeem himself like he would have if it was correctly called in the fight. Yes, I agree. Everything here is wonky, and Lamont Roach at the end of the day should have got the knockdown. But the matter of the fact was they weren't going to go back and change this decision. The commission just wasn't going to do that. Knowing how big a fight this is, the controversy would have been too much. And it's not just about the name of Gervonta Tank Davis. It's just the fact going back and doing that to any fighter would have been tough. And after reports said they had replay that they looked at and concluded, hey, we don't think it's a knockdown during the fight. So they weren't going to change their initial decision that they had during the fight and going back. That's what this comes down to. The commission didn't want to overturn their official ruling when they did see the replay and said, oh, no, it wasn't a knockdown, because that would also make them look bad. And at the end of the day, these two fighters look primed to go against each other in a rematch, which would be incredible. I think easily that's the best decision for both fighters. I think right now it's the best fight they could make boxing-wise and additionally business-wise, as the whole world's talking about this. I saw something, I believe it was Brunch Boxing that posted it, that over 3 billion impressions on social media and different streaming platforms Davis vs. Roach has gotten. Just look on my channel, the video of Gervonta Davis taking a knee, the short, over 50,000 views. It's clear everybody is talking about this, and instead of the commission going back and making a ruling, they're saying, hey, we recommend a rematch, and these guys settling it in the ring, which is how we like to see it in boxing. Obviously, in the moment, it should have been a knockdown. But as the moment has passed, it would be unfair to Tank Davis and any other fighter to go back and say it's a knockdown and not let them get a chance to redeem themselves. As I understand Lamont Roach's frustration. It's got to be frustrating knowing you were this close to a win and probably should have got it if it was called correctly. But unfortunately, Steve Willis did not call it correctly. And now we're in this predicament. And I do think the commission made the right call, even though it's the unfortunate call. It's the right call because, again, not allowing the fighter to redeem themselves, it's a tough call to make. But I think the moral of the story, the main point of this story is we need Davis versus Roach 2, and we need it ASAP. Both of these guys immediately started tweeting, talking about the rematch. Tank said, we can do it end of May. That soon. He's ready for it. Lamont Roach said, my contract's signed. If we don't do it, it's because of you. At the end of the day, this rematch needs to be happening, and let's get it settled in the ring. Forget all the court stuff. Forget all of this. Hey, first one was a draw. 6-6, that's what we're going with. Round 13. Let's see who can make a decision and make it clear who the winner is between the two. Again, I think the rematch is the way to settle it. I'm happy the commission didn't go back and dictate the winner themselves, but then again, on the same hand, I feel bad for Lamont Roach, who is again this close to the upset of the year. Let me know in the comments below, are you in agreement with the commission's decision, or would you have liked to see them overturn it in favor of Lamont Roach, counting the knockdown or giving Tank Davis the disqualification? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Never Drop podcast. I got all your boxing news, and make sure you go check out some of the videos I got from the Tank vs. Roach fight in Brooklyn, which I was there for. That's all I got for you. Peace. I'm out.